Lama kunchu san la hyangsa lo dao yen semchen tamche ji jeshen je la pan zet doso susun du nga chendra che jinchen nyar som me pon hiwa je la so semchen tan de nyar de don chen na tamba nam ji nen ta tsar de so good morning, oh good afternoon, oh no, good evening, good any times. Firstly, I want to remind you about the bodhicitta, compassion, kindness. We need to generate bodhicitta concerning like a benefit for all the sentient beings. Of course, physically or it's verbally to help sentient beings. Maybe sometimes it's difficult, but maybe in the mentally, maybe at least we can to think sentient beings and to pray, to say that may all sentient beings to be free from any sufferings, the cause of the suffering, the result of the sufferings. And also may all the sentient beings to have perfect happiness, the cause of happiness, the result of the happiness. And in order to, or for that reason, we say I'm going to, or we are going to study Buddha's teaching, and that is our purpose for the studying Dharma. That's the most very important. And when we are look at the liberation path, and who is achieved the liberation, that is of course firstly Buddha, and then it's like we are taking Buddha's path, and all the Buddha's path, it is the entrance doors, like a determined mind, or the like really want be free from suffering. And also is we have the renunciation samsaric situation, and also it's like we have such kind of concerning the samsaric situation. It is not only the ourselves, and there's the different place, different realms, different countries, different the group of the sentient beings, how much they are suffering, and also wherever we be with them. And of course difficult to help them, even that we can't help ourselves, how we can to help to them. And when we are concerned that we're thinking something for help, to help our own self, and also we can to help to others, then there are, I think, one choice. This choice is liberation. When we be liberate, and then we can to help to the others. And also they really to help to the others. I think it's we say it's like only the one way, and that is the only the compassion way. And when we look the globally in the societies of the sentient beings, and our human society or any kind of the group of the animals or the species or the transmigration societies, and when we look at them, really reality who really to do some benefit or help only the by the compassions. That is the obvious. And nothing else. These compassions, if you love, if you rejoice, or if you have sympathetic, enthusiastic thoughts to the others, or you have the great equanimities, all this sort of like positive minds can help to the others. It is obvious, 100%. In order to receive help for us and by the others physical or verb, mentally, through the compassions, only the compassions. Without compassions, who can to help to us? 100%. Maybe it's without compassions, someone's help. Maybe they expecting something. Maybe they have something is a different purpose. And we can tell worldly, if someone's to help to us, very scaring. I'm scaring. If someone in the road, someone says, "Do you need help?" I can't help them. I'm really difficult to trust. And some people look kind of when you take the trains, when you're traveling, and someone is like confused, lost way, and then someone's criminals, robbers, killers, they see that, oh, okay, I came to help. But reality, they want to do some bad things. And like this, in the really, we can to look, say, worldly. Okay, I say it's like, I love my family. I'm like kind of attachment. I want to take care of it. Really, we can to close, to really to check. I don't know, maybe parents to the children's serious. Otherwise, it's very difficult. They only expecting like some benefit themselves. Like a kind of, okay, you are healthy, you are beautiful, you are kind of the handsome, and you are rich. Okay, I love you because you can to help me. If this person becomes sick, bad situation, and then friend or families disappeared, never coming close. That is the like kind of the worldly and help. Compassion, kindness. If you have difficult situations, compassion that is more close to you. As much as you disturb, they don't care. They only the which is the kind of the benefit to you. And also there's nothing expectations. Help is the pure, and help is real. Help is truth. Of course, someone is help limitless sentient beings. We're talking about the Bodhisattvas. And someone is like maybe number of the beings. Maybe someone is like few, but maybe even some compassionate help to the families. And really serious, sincerely they are helping. Truthfully they are helping. And like kind of the families, For example, compassionate concerning this my family, whoever surround me, they are connected to me. How I can to put them to more high, more comfortable. If I can to make 1 minute to happy to them, wow, wonderful. They are saying me. I need happy, them need to happiness. If I'm support to them, maybe they can to support. Of course, it is like a little bit, that is also expectation. But really it's like a compassionate, you help, never ever expectations. Never complain. I help to you. Why you don't like kind of, never, purely. And also when we help others to a little be happy, and like kind of the physically, verbally, mentally, belonging and virtuous, something a little bit to help. Wow, wonderful. It's like when you have the compassions, it's a joy. There is wonderful. That is like, that is the really, it's a truth. Then I'm saying the liberations path is only, there is a single path. This single path is compassion. And without compassion, where is the liberation? I don't know. And for example, Patrul Rinpoche's book, there is advice to Konzon Chujel. It says, if you are studied 84,000 of the Buddha's teachings, you like kind of make retreat, maybe recite the billions, trillions mantras. You are meditate on a generation stage, dissolution stage, but if they are not connected to the compassions, he said they are become for your liberation. He has a big doubt, he said. Exactly, without compassion, there is almost no liberations. Therefore, compassions make liberation or happiness in the temporarily, ultimately, and also, as I said, that the founder of the liberation and inner our minders, that is the Buddha. He at the beginning apply to practice compassion. In the middle he is, sometime in the sutta perspective, 3 countless eons he like a kind of the journeyed his liberation path. But all these journeys, he all the times practiced compassions. Then finally he realized that the nature of the compassions. And therefore, for example, Longchenpa's one Dharmadat treasure, the treasure of the Dharmadats, he is called the Buddha nature, is the awakened mind, bodhicitta, compassion. The compassion mind itself, the universal. The compassion mind, it is the Buddha nature. The compassion mind itself, it is the Dharmakaya, Sambhogakaya, Namanikaya. The compassion mind is the source of all the happy and like protector to the others, yourself, and the source of the liberations. And therefore, is the compassion is only that. And also there is such like a different explanation of the compassions. Like for example, Bodhisattva avatars, and as the Buddha's compassion, we are trying to now imitating. That is the like impartial compassions. That means it's like concerning all the sentient beings. Everything is included. Nothing kind of the excluded. Therefore, great practitioners, they like kind of their perspectives. There's something subjugate or get rid of the ghost, demons, nothing. And there's nothing kind of accomplishment of the something deities or something dakinis. All the sentient beings equally to concerning. And like this, therefore, we also need to generate bodhicitta. That is we call the application like kind of the firstly. And it's a very, very important. This is single idea, single attitude. This is also is like a single path of the Mahayana's path. Single path, it can lead to ours the great happiness of the liberation. And that is the most important. I'm just to honestly to say how many years we study and it's how much is the benefit we should to look at the compassions. Do we have a little bit like kind of increased compassion in our mind? If not, then it's very much sad. Maybe it's also yesterday we talking about, of course, to have such different knowledges, to memorize. Okay, that is also very good. What we are try to study different knowledges because of the compassion. And also we study different part or the aspect of the subject matter. Why? Because of the we want to increase for the compassions. And then it's like that means it's like kind of how much is like kindness, peace, cool, and peaceful mind. How much is a rise into our minds when we practice the compassions very equally to all the sentient beings, and also included everything. Doesn't matter animate or inanimate. Everything. If you have the compassions, also you can taking care of how much material things. And there is like kind of the make joke, in the some is like a electronic shops. And there is one like they make the kind of the, how do you say, imagine that. For example, like electric kettle, vacuum cleaner, and ironing machines. All these machines is like kind of, they are talking. Oh, do you have good owner? No, I have very bad owner. Even they using it very badly and also put out. It's never. Then I'm broke my leg. I broke my mouth. I broke like kind of. They like cattle says, oh yes, my owners is all the time there's strange water, never clean me. And the vacuum cleaner say, yes, you are right. And they give me so dirty food and full of my stomach, never clean. And also they put me very ugly place, and I have very bad owners. Another vacuum cleaner say, I have very good owners. When it's like I sack the dirty, immediately clean. I have house, very nice house. Every day is clean. I'm very happy. I can to work for my owner as long as I can. And like this, really is like sometimes maybe it's in the Buddhist perspective. Those sometimes in the preliminary practice, go don't kaba tap don't tapasos. Go is a door, tap is stuff, tapas any ropes, or the electronic. Sometimes they have sentient beings. And like a kind of the some, of course, maybe coincidentally, they can't find anybody. Maybe they just holding themselves. They say, this is my body. And then if we are not very kind to them, that's like kind of the not very good. Therefore, for the Buddhist perspective, to cutting grass, to cutting wood, it is like very much taking care. Of course, the grass and those like materials, of course, not sentient beings. Some in case there is. And in this perspective, also is the materials to taking care. It's everything is like compassions. So fantastic. Therefore, when we are practice equanimities, me and you equanimities, and I and others equanimities, family and enemies equanimities, samsara nirvana's equanimity, your equanimity impartially to practice the compassion towards all objects. It's a wonderful thing. Why? This like kind of the equanimities, there's no dualistic kind of the minds. No dualistic minds, it can purify the dualistic minds. When you like practice non-dualistic minds, or like kind of get rid of non-dualistic, practice equanimities, there's the such to accumulation merits. It can also purify the two obscurations automatically, naturally. When we are purified the two obscurations, that is the liberation process, 100%. In our histories, in the Buddhist perspective, historically, how many like someone is become the extraordinary through the mind, In our worldly says someone's holiness, someone is a Bodhisattva, someone's a Buddha, someone's very, very intelligent, like in our Western doctors. Why? Because of the mind. Physically maybe same, no different. Sometimes very compassionate realization, and also very scholar, wiser. This kind of the person is physically maybe like a little bit ugly, weak. There's not really like kind of powerful. That mentally is education, mentally realization, mentally like knowledge, fantastic. This knowledge is very much help to the others. Then automatically become the famous. Happy people receive very happiness, and therefore really to need to like kind of the concerning our own self, how much my changing process. Am I really to connect to the compassion, kindness, or every day I'm concerning self? I'm most important. I need to best place. I need best food. I need everything. Those are okay. Doesn't matter. They provoke me. They anger me. They are not very good. This they like this. Then is where is the really dharma? Where is the liberation? It's very sad things, and therefore very important for us every day to check our mind. Is connected to the compassion. It is connected to the kindness. There is we already studied the four boundless qualities. Four boundless qualities, loving kindness. Loving kindness is like also is a compassion. Do you know the loving kindness is like to very much kind. Even the Shantadevas, you look at the other sentient beings, it's very gently, a little bit humbly. The other ones also automatically happy. And it is the truth. And once we was probably in the group once in the seaside, we traveled like schools. And one camping areas, I don't know, we have theirs. I was Lopan, two Lopans, but there's one a little French strange guy, and he was there's a very strange tent inside. He has two kids or something, and he looked at us, and of course there maybe we looked, but suddenly he is like coming out to take in the Haman, say, why you are look at me like this? And then I said, what? Don't look at me, I will kill you, he says something. And then he go back, he didn't to hit to us. But then we say, maybe we also look at him very strangely. It's truth. For example, we go to outside, if look, someone's like strangely gazing to us, maybe not very comfortable, like aggressively. Therefore, Shantadeva says, even you look to the other sentient beings to be the kindly. Even the Buddhist movement, maybe it's like you showing a little bit arrogant ways, and other ones automatically sad or angry, challenge. And therefore, it is like a Buddha, Shantadeva, he said, it's like compassion's Buddha is all the times, even your movements also show you. That is the truth. Therefore, to say something like, here's someone's, Yes, dear, how are you? Yes, like this. Bonjour, comment ça va? Like this, it's wonderful. It is nice. That means looks like very like say, what do you want? Which kind of if you ask something or like very kind of unkind reply, unkind questions and reply things we talking about. That is like really why not how much we are developing our mind according the uh, Buddha's teachings every day, every hours, every second we need to check. That is the very much point how much our body, speech, mind relate to the Buddha's teaching and particularly the compassions. Compassions. If there's no compassions, we should to create and how many we have the like methods there is to practice a Tonglen and also in the word of my perfect teachers when you like training your mind with the compassions and sometimes it says very difficult like when you says all the sentient beings is too large and your compassions like kind of scattered. It's very difficult to develop, but maybe you can to look at the some in the like there's some animals bring to the butcher and then you can to look at these animals. Maybe you consider yourself, maybe consider your parents, or maybe you consider your children, and like this some is your children, your parents, someone's taken to in the death place, the like execute like place, a killing place, how much you are suffering. I hope some is like the how do you say ugly families. Okay, doesn't matter. My father's going to kill, my mother's going to kill, but then it's very bizarre, yes. Or some parents, okay, my children's going to kill them. Maybe it's like this. Who is our parents? Who is our children's? We don't know. Sometimes we say it's like, oh, that is my enemy. That is like it doesn't matter. Some animals, okay, they kill them. Maybe they are our parents. Maybe they are our families. Like this, and also in the word of my perfect teacher say, when you are training your mind, sometimes fix at one like sentient beings. Maybe we can to look. Last time when we study, someone says like, can you show me the hungry ghost animals? Then there's many people like took from the like YouTube, they sending to you. Remember, like this we can to look. Maybe it's like sometime I'm doing. It is like my compassion's very a little bit and difficult to develop. Then sometimes I'm open to the like very awful situations. Maybe like a butcher. Maybe sometimes like a National Geographic. They killing each other, eating each other, and sometimes like some predators, like killers, tiger and lions. I'm say, oh, they are all the time doing angry. Then is I say, why not? They also is like they don't killing like kind of the fun way. Also, they no food. They are dying, and they only is like kind of survive by the like kind of the grass. Then both side I need to the but those some sentient beings all the time are sufferings and like this. For example, sometimes you can to look the in even the human beings. Some is like families. Some is like situations. No food, no cloth, very sick, and years they are sick. It's like difficult to go, difficult to get up. That top of there's no food, no proper shelter. How much is like there? If we in these situations, and like you really to exchange to there, if I'm really these situations, what do you do? Desperate, and you are looking for some help. Who can to help? Sometimes like some is many there's like a suffering human beings. They say maybe like a kind of the international helper, like some the associations help me. I haven't got food, drink, things. 1 week, 2 weeks, nothing there is. They are searching for insect, and they are living on the street. how much they are suffering. And this kind of one is like pick up, and then we need to, if I'm in these situations, what can I do? If someone's like give you, it's like one piece of the bread, how much is like this? Last times, and we watched, I don't know which country, we watched one film on YouTube. And then there is like one is like the child, he's come back every day from the school, going back to school, and his parents is very rich, and fathers look in the morning bring to the school. He saw that through the window there's some such beggar, and it's like kind of no clothes very, and also no shoes. Shoes is like this bottle, like a water, this butter, how do you say, plastic butter, is he cut it, and then this one is like some ropes to put under his like feet. And then it's a very very hot weather, and all like there's kind of the mushrooms like this. He saw the few times, and then it's like he secretly he like a thief or something, like money. And then it's once he drive, and secretly he bought some shoes, and then he said, "Father, can you stop? I want to do something." And he took in the plastic and run to this guy, and he give to these shoes. And the father saw that, "What are you doing?" said, and he don't say nothing. And then often he like thief or something, he says like, "I need a little picnics," and they go to school, and then their parents give food, and he don't eat, and immediately run to him and give. And later like kind of the parents see, and the parents helped. But it's like this together to watch, and then many people crying, "Wow, thanks." This is a compassion. Then, for example, when someone's killing, very arrogantly killing, torturing, we never cry. We are angry. And compassionate is doing is like this. Others people's like kind of the really feeling there is, and like kind of feel. Last time it is a really really, if you can to look. And there's one guy, he is like completely, this leg is handicapped, and then his arm is also is handicapped, and he has a very ugly wheelchair, but also nobody's taking care. I mean, it's like he's alone. And then it's like, of course he cannot take a shower, and he's stay very poor, like kind of. And then it's like his hand is absolutely kind of the muddy outside, very dirty. If face, everything. Cloth is like you can to his jacket and trousers, you can to take out really thick. And then there's one lady, she went to there and says like, "Can I help?" Then she helped, she clean, and then it's like told to her husband, "Let's help." Then they clean, take a shower, to make up, and they shave the like beard mustache, and they put nice trousers, and then they change, and he shave and clean, take shower, to nice put cloth. He's quite nice guy, but of course in the wheelchair. And then it's like his house a little bit change. It's wonderful. You see like this, how you can to stop the tear. This is comes from the compassion. That is we need to really like this. Someone is like this kind of suffering. If we be in these situations, we don't know sometimes this situation. And then what can we do? We are desperate and looking some to help. Maybe it's nobody's help. And then what can we do? And we need to this kind of exchange. Then we look at our mind, how much is developing our compassions. Then, for example, Buddha and Bodhisattvas, we call the Buddha and Bodhisattvas. For example, Bodhisattvas, they never ever pray, says, I will become the rich. I will become enlightenment. May I become something is like successful. May I become the maybe quickly reach level of the path Bhumis. They all the times, may I reborn the hell, may I reborn the hunger ghost, may I reborn in the animal realms, may I help, may I become the useful for the sentient beings. They all the times, day and night, they are pray like this. Then we call the bodhisattvas. Then we are respect to them. Then we are really this like kind of the beings we call the bodhisattvas is real bodhisattva. We want to become like this. It's very important. Through this 100%, we can give happiness to the others. We can give happiness for ours. As all the perfect Buddhahood, all the perfect qualities, all the good things they are come from this idea, this attitude. Therefore, first, very important, we can to say, yesterday the end of our book is they talking about three supreme methods. Three supreme methods. First is the giving arousing to the bodhicitta as as preparation, and then in the middle maintain the free of the non-conceptuals during the actually meditations. And we are almost at the ending of this chapter. This chapter is very big chapter, excellent chapter. Thank you very much. Really, your coordinating, your kindness. I studied a lot of things. It's quite maybe today we can to kind of finish it surely. And like the first preparation, bodhicitta is like this. Then they remain free of the conceptualizations. And no conceptualization, it is a very kind of the fantastic, because it's like when we are meditate on the non-conceptualizations, that means it's like we meditating in the nature of the realities. Nature of the realities. And normally we say it's like what is the border of the how do you say the samsara and nirvana? This border, it is the how to make the border samsara and nirvana. That makes the border, it is the understood in the non-conceptualization or the non-conceptualizations. If someone's understood non-conceptualization of the Buddha nature, and you are the nirvana. If you do not understand the non-conceptualization of the Buddha nature, we are on the some side of the samsara. Therefore, it is like kind of you understand or not understand it. Maybe may you think, you said it's like the choice, compassion or non-conceptualization, which is really, it is the path and like kind of the making the liberation to ourselves. I mean, it's like non-conceptualization, it is wonderful, but very difficult to practice. We, of course, all the time is like a kind of the searching for that. But if you go to more deep, no conceptualization, sometimes how you can to like meditate, how you can to develop. Of course, there is the development. Surely you can to develop but some in the perspective you only constantly the non-conceptualization. Sometimes you make big mistake. Because it's like only the non-conceptualizations, maybe you are not very much concerned in the causalities. You don't know about the cause, the samsara and nirvana, or the positive cause and negative things. For example, yesterday there is someone's question, the Guru Rinpoche's quotations. My view is more than higher than the sky, but my conduct activity is more subtle than the particle atom of the flowers. Like this, sometimes only to thinking about non-conceptualizations, maybe it's like a kind of the activity is lost, and therefore, of course, in the compassion, the essence of the compassion is the non-conceptualizations. Luminosity and the activity aspect is a compassion. Therefore, of course, the compassion is the unification of the how do you say this true, and in this perspective we can to say it's like compassion. Here is also is like when we are talking about compassions, we have the relative compassion and absolute compassions, and this relative compassion is like in the connect to the relative things. We are never ever against any relative things, and very much tolerant, very much kind of the understanding the relative realities. And this relative compassions to understand the absolute, the compassion, that means it is like kind of the realization of the essence of the compassions, essence of the relative truth. And then is like through this we understand the phenomena realities more suitable, more kind of the convenient, more kind of the relevant, more stable, perfect, like kind of the made foundation. We never kind of the, how do you say, it's like against the dharmas, because it's like the according to your compassions, you really is like kind of the, you acting according to perfectly causalities, and this like kind of the impartial compassions, and the understood the nature of the compassion of the relative truth. You can to realize that the true nature of the reality, that is the absolute compassions. Therefore, absolute compassion or the non-conceptualizations, it is a kind of free from the any conceptuals, and like kind of the expecting, and kind of the like thinking about a famous, or like a tatter, or maybe it's like a according to attachment, desire, and jealousy, and anger, so on. Everything is equally, everything is understood same as the true nature of the realities. And also it is a non-conceptualization, it is the true nature of the realities. True nature of the realities. For example, the essence of the non-conceptual, that means it's like a non-conceptualizations. That means it's like the each phenomena, there is no kind of the separations. Based, it is like there is the like a kind of the ones, and that means it is like kind of each single like phenomena, and you have expression at least three, and like kind of positive expression or the movement, negative and neutral. This one is maybe in our minds have these three, and also is like a like kind of the things, materials. There are maybe is true, maybe sometimes positive, maybe is the negative, and neutral is like we can to say only the by the mind. Okay, for example, we can to say it's water, dirty, clean. This is expression. There is like a neutral water, I'm not sure, but like this. Then these expressions, where is, how it is, and in the nature of the water, in the nature of the mind, in nature of the computer, nature of the camera, it doesn't matter. This is like kind of according to natures, there is true expressions. Yesterday we talking about the magic disciplines, or sometimes just the nature of the disciplines. And this one is like in the nature's perspective, you movement of the dirty or movement of the clean, it doesn't matter. And anyway, it's like these both expressions not far from, how do you say, they not different than the nature of realities. And therefore we are more close to the non-conceptual, our nature of the mind. Then this kind of the true things, like a kind of the, sometimes we have a positive mind, sometimes we have negative mind. For the is nature mind perspective, maybe both is the equal. Sometimes when we have the negative mind, we try to reject. We have like a lot of problems. We follow up, and it's created such a turmoil into that. And then it's certainly this is not forever. Certainly change. Then we have a little bit kind of positive mind. Then we say, oh, mind is good. I have positive. Of course, this is not permanent. It won't change. Alternately like this. This sort of all the time is current in the perspective of the non-conceptualization of the true nature reality. And also it's like there is the mandala of the intrinsic awareness. And then there is three things kind of that happens. A rising and a budding and the liberation. These three things. In the mandala of the intrinsic awareness, everything is arising from that. Everything is abiding there, and everything is liberated into that. And therefore, sometimes it says like, it's the intrinsic nature of the awareness, the wisdoms of intrinsic awareness. Saying is like this: everything has come from me. Everything is living in me. Everything is dissolved in me. I am the great cemetery of all the sentient beings coming to in my cemeteries, and all the like kind of the you can to say it's like a birth, the mother of all the sentient beings. I am. That moment, maybe someone thinks maybe God or maybe who is I am. Not I am. That's just in poetic way. That is the Buddha nature of the realities. We are come from our own nature reality, and we are abiding in the nature of reality. We dissolve into the nature of reality. If we do not understand nature of realities, we look like come from something else. We are abiding into something else. We are going to also something else. Looks like samsaras. And also samsara, when we analyze six ralamas, they are not externally existence. The six ralamas also, it is the discipline. It's like kind of the movement our mind is. The six ralamas not different. There's something existence, the mind, nothing than the mind. And therefore, to think about the non-conceptualizations and the intrinsic nature of the awareness. And also when we are talking at the beginning, there is a kind of the argumentations to say it's like, one is like our mind is something happens. The mind is like at the beginning, it's not sentient beings, it is not Buddha. And then there's a beginning there where it is very difficult. Therefore, mind is beginningless. But then it's like a kind of the how it is occurred, like kind of them. Same as says, arising in the intrinsic nature, body intrinsic nature, dissolved intrinsic nature. Maybe intrinsic natures there's not a kind of the expression. Expression. We sometimes is like kind of the in our minds. There's something is a special air, special kind of the energy, special something. These special things is kind of making the movement of our basic minds. And the beginning, how we came to say the beginning, long time ago you came to say. And that time is like how is the diluted hours in the samsara, or how is the be enlightenment. And that time is beginning my mind is not sentient being, not kind of the Buddha. And then it's like certainly something happens. And this is naturally occurring, the energy something. Sometimes it's like the vata, the point of the transit, like kind of the wind, you can say transit wind. And sometimes it's like galaxies, or you can to say Sometimes it's like a kind of the subtle, very subtle, the Tanzic wind of the five wisdoms. And anyway, it is like something. And there is like one example here. For example, in the lake or the ocean is a completely like kind of the doesn't move. And then maybe it's like some in the some from space air is coming. A little bit is this the water's touched. Then there is kind of the ring of the water, or is the wave of water's coming moved. But of course, it's like a water's water, but the movement of the wave or the like something. How do you call the small water's wave? There is special names. Last time I never know, but I forgot it. But doesn't matter. Then there's the kind of conditions occurring, like this. This is begin how we diluted. Someone is understand that the intrinsic nature itself is immediately become the Buddha. We call the first Buddha of the seventh bhatta. And someone's a little bit kind of the foggy things. For example, in the morning, you're this like kind of the light is started coming. Now is light is coming. I can to see the sunset. Some is light is coming, but some in the space naturally occurring, like kind of the cloud, and then it's some is cover over it. And maybe it's hold during the day. There is the luminosity, but difficult to see the sun. But maybe in the morning it's like this light is coming, like kind of stones. Maybe completely you can to see the like the suns. Kind of like this. This certainly is the movement is occurring, and then is one is recognized like a kind of sun is without obscurations or the like other teachers, and immediately become the Buddha, like recognize the ground nature reality, is become the seventh bhatta, Buddha. And we do not understand this. Something is a foggy, a little bit like a kind of the misty is coming. That is what we call the convergence ignorant. And then is like kind of start dualistic mind, what it is. Then it's holding the object subject. Then is the formation and the labeling kind of coming. And then this after is the like kind of label ignorant. Then is true ignorant, completely cover over the ground. And then we have samsaric mind. But that is the how it is the beginning. We wandered into the samsara without realized the non-conceptualizations. But of course, maybe we don't need to think about in the long times. Right now, we are the living in as our own nature ground. Each second we are rising from that. Each moment abiding there. Each moment dissolve that. And according this one is like a kind of the when we can to become diluted, when we become the like kind of the enlightenment. We don't know each moment, but at the moment for ourselves we have like very dense, dark thickness of the like kind of disturbing emotions. It's like kind of almost 100%. When it's like kind of the whatever shine, we never recognize all the times that there's the obscurations ignorant. But of course now so like we are studying, force of the studying, force of the meditations, force of the development of the mind. Then there are kind of the approaches to more. It's like maybe it's like one moment we movement is occurring anytime, morning, afternoon, 1 or 2, 3 days, maybe week, month, years. Probably some in the movements we recognize there is the ground to be in the like kind of the enlightenment. This one also maybe there is some doubt. Someone says, if I'm enlightenment into the ground of the nature of the reality, nature of the ground nature of the reality, this nature is. This one is like easily to become the samsaric mind, easily to become the enlightened mind. then is even I may like recognize again, and then maybe I will become the again diluted sentient beings. Then is one again I need to apply like this. This is the different, There is example in the Uttara Tantras and also others. For example, gold is on the earth, is gold, and there is such a tarnish, like kind of the surround. When you take out from the earth gold, looks like not really gold, something else, but it is gold. And then afterwards, it's like kind of you melt, cut, beat again and again goldsmiths, and completely clean up. After it's never become like this. Gold is all the time maintained like this. Then is once we are enlightenment, then is the never ever become the again sentient beings. And also maybe you can research. I'm just to give you some informations. We need to be enlightenment on the thoughts in the movement. There is the recognition. Based on our Buddha natures, there's Buddha or not Buddha. There's no name of that. It's all the time is impartiality, and it's like kind of in the Uttara Tantras, beginning what it is, and later exactly same. For example, it's like how many years or like kind of the times we wander into the samsara. Maybe it's difficult to count the life, but since we diluted, when we maybe be enlightenment, the Buddha nature's journey with us, how many eons into the samsara, never damaged, like exactly kind of the when we be enlightenment, recognize this at it is. There's nothing kind of changed. And the Uttara Tantra say is like before what it is, exactly same the later. But in the movement, in the perspective, then it's like there is the enlightenment. Maybe I want to say one thing. When we are during the meditate to analyze, maybe you say it's like, okay, now I generate bodhicitta, and really my visualizations are good. Completely my mind is occupied by the virtue of happiness. And then maybe your mind is very happy. And that moment, there's nothing kind of the other negative things. The mind is preoccupied that. But how long duration, we don't know. Maybe someone's 1 second, 2 seconds, 1 hour, 2 hours. Maybe someone's forever. And like this, the movement is become the enlightenment. Then we become the Buddha. The movement is become the gold movement, compassion movement, and is a positive movement. Very nice. Probably can to drink tea, then I will say blah blah blah. Coffee.